Hello, it's Wednesday.
Us.
It's us.
Again.
On a Wednesday. Oh,
Happy
dear.
hump day.
Humpty. Yes, indeedy. I'll just update you about Carleen. Topic of the moment, really. She's doing a bit better. She was not good this morning, and it's purely, apparently very common reaction to having a UTI, and she was a bit confuddled this morning, shall we say, but she's been on her IV antibiotics and they're just taking a little bit of time to work. But once they get going, they really get going. So the hospital are expecting that she will be back up and running by Friday, but she'll not be coming back home here. She'll be going back to Hawthorne Hill, and she'll be in there for a week or 2 weeks. And the reason for that is she's considered, I thought Janine said a flight risk. I was like, really? I'm like, are you sure? And she said, yes. And I said, a flight risk? She said, no, a fall risk.
Is it going to say a fight risk?
A fight risk, no, she's not one of those either. So,
not unless she runs into the goats.
No, exactly, they're lethal at the moment. So, unfortunately, she's considered a fall risk right now with the disorientation because of the infection, and she'll go there for rehab again. That's not to say she won't be back home, but we expect that to be maybe a week's time or 2 weeks' time, depending on how quickly she progresses. And she has to really be considered, it has to be considered safe for her to come home. With all the care in the world, falls are just absolutely horrific, and anything that can be done to help avoid them, we really need to do. So we'll follow the doctor's orders and any suggestions, and then get her home as soon as possible, because obviously this is where she wants to be. So we have no idea of the time scale, I'm afraid to say, but she's in good hands. Janine's just away down to see her just now, and we'll just take it as it comes. So that's the update there. The dogs, Janine obviously has to go down to South Carolina, where it's very difficult because she's tying up loose ends with her home, as I'm sure she's already explained, and she really needs to go. And the problem is, if she doesn't go, it gets pushed out, and then we'll not be sure what state we'll be in with Carleen, and it's important. It's more important for her to go while Carleen is in either the hospital or the rehab centre. That's a more opportune moment, but we have to she has to go and get that done so that we're then clear up here, and that's the bottom line. So it's important that she goes. She'll go tomorrow. That leaves the goats in charge, obviously, and if she's lucky, there'll still be barn doors standing by the time she gets back, and that just gets another job out of the way that's going to require a trip off site. So that's the best solution to the issue at the moment. So yes. Yeah, and I think Gwen is maybe coming up on Sunday, and if everything goes to plan and Carleen's going to be transferring over to Hawthorne Hill, she can help facilitate that, and the dogs will be back in here. Sizzle is going to be in the White House. That's where she's most comfortable, and Penny and Larky will be in here. As per usual, when they will be checked at night time before everybody goes to bed, given their cookie. They'll be fed in the morning, given their cookie, then there'll be breakfast, and then they'll be out and about. There's jobs to be done. There's actually quite a lot of people coming to here. We've obviously got Judy. She will be here. Brittany's been here all afternoon. She's back tomorrow, which is lovely because Brittany is in the HQ and the dogs are in the HQ. And if the dogs aren't in the HQ, they're out having a nosy in the back. So that's good. And then Heather will be here, I think it's Saturday. No, it's Friday and Saturday. And that's wonderful because that's a combination of being with the dogs, Carleen, and in the barn. So it'll be a real good combination. And I'm excited that Heather's coming in because I've only met her briefly in passing. So that's very exciting. And it is what it is. And, you know, we always bounce on forward. Sometimes we bounce back a little bit, but then we bounce forward again. So that's what we're working towards. I think the gentlemen who are working on the barn, they got a bit of a shock today because I was in the arena and I thought to myself, you know, I don't think these guys really have been around herds of animals, especially not our herds of animals, including the goats, because they were working down at the area where the new stalls are, and they had left not only the outdoor sliding door, stable door open, but also the interior one. And I thought, ooh, that's probably something I wouldn't have done. But I was dealing with something down the other end, and I thought I'll come back and just have a word with them. But no, the goats got there first, naturally. So when I came back in the aisleway up towards Wallace's end, they're wrestling with 3 of them, and I thought, oh, good luck with that. And but they were doing admirably, so I just left them to it, and then they were taught the goat lesson, and they shut both the sliding doors. So,
practicing their gaucho skills.
Yes, definitely. So I'm sure that was an exciting part of their morning. Oh,
I think they like the animals.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, and they're actually a lovely team of people to be working with. They're very good humoured, which fits in really nicely. So that's where we're at today. You know, I don't even know if Judy went out to do a job this morning. Do you know?
Did, yeah.
She did.
She did, yeah. And I think she said it was pretty busy, actually.
Was that the one that was 67?
67 or something.
Yeah, somebody will tell. Well, hopefully Linda will tell us. And
I think, was it a new place or
in Haverhill? Yeah, it could have been. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, well, is this not the place where she did 67? But it was room to room.
I can't remember.
See, so yes. Right, so I have a letter, and it is from Joe, who is in Peabody. And this is thank you very much. This is a donation in memory of Sean Clancy. So thank you so very much. That's very kind of you. I need to keep that aside, and we'll do a send out. There we go. I'll pop that there. Thank you. I also have now, Fernanda, your box did come through. We found it. It was in the back of the pickup truck, naturally, and it is now here. But I'm going to keep it with Sam's box because I think they're specifically for Carleen. So it will just stay here. Right, now this box here...
Unless there's a cake in it.
Unless there's a cake in it. Now, what would you do if there was a cake in it?
I think we'd have to open it.
Oh, it would be rude not to.
Mm-hmm.
This box here, it's for Goldy's farm. Oh, good golly. Oh. It's a telescopic stool. How exciting. Oh, 2.
Does that work?
I don't know, but we'll have to work it out. Oh, good. There's a... After seeing you in the barn trying to coax Jamie to eat, I thought you could use this whenever. Thank you very much, Nancy. Nancy, are you coming back for the Donkey Derby? I certainly hope so. You see how that works. Honestly, I'm kind of at a stage in life where having a little portable seat's actually quite pleasant. Oh, look, they're Goldy's colour. Are you going to read the instructions?
No.
You twist it to make it stay up.
You twist it.
Yeah. I read the instructions.
Wrap it. Spin it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's
How
really
did you
quick.
manage to do it?
I read the instructions, Nick. Look. It's
Oh my goodness.
now this is going to be the test. Look.
Look at that.
That's perfect.
There we go.
Mine's bigger than
Actually,
yours.
that's better. Like, you get the right one there.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And look, with these, what you can do is it's like an accordion. So to lock it, you can have them all different
Oh, you
sizes.
can have a different shape.
Yeah, you can have an itty bitty one.
Yeah.
I'd never get up from there. That's really clever.
That is clever.
And it's plastic, which means we can
Make
close
sure
it
now.
down.
Make sure you've locked it. Yeah. Can you imagine?
I can actually imagine. Oh, they're good stills.
Oh, very cool.
And they've got a carry handle. I might just wear one like a crossbody bag and take it everywhere with me. No, darling, you're supposed to put it down before you put it over your shoulder. That's very you.
I'm modelling it.
Come on now. Let's turn around so we can see it. Don't hit me with it. Lovely. Now, concentrate it down. You've got quite good reaction. It goes right down flat though. There, that's better. That's wonderful. Thank you, Nancy. That's very thoughtful.
Next up, a modelling career.
Yeah, of stools. Oh. Now, tomorrow is Thursday.
Is there anything else we have to open?
No, because that's from Sam, and that's for Carleen, and that's from Fernanda, and that's for Carleen as well. And it's really super because Brittany was in here today, and she made our shelving unit. I think Fugan, you said that, and she's made up her shelving unit, and she's tidied us up, which is super.
Which is good because it did need tidied up.
It certainly did. Yeah. So that's also very much appreciated. Now,
Kiss Jones.
Kiss Jones. Yes, please.
Okay, where's Wanda?
With Janine.
With Janine. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the Carleen updates. Are you going back to doing the daily doggy?
I've been writing the daily doggy for the last 2 days.
Oh. But do you post it on
But are
Daily Doggy?
Are you not getting it?
That was Fernanda.
Yes. So I've been writing the daily doggy today and yesterday, and I'm posting it in exactly the same place where I was posting it. So it goes online on the website. It goes on to Constant Contact, and it goes out to certain people via email. And it's the way Carleen showed me to do it, and I'm doing it exactly the same way I did it for 3 months. So hopefully that's okay.
Great, super. Yeah, she saw 57 people at a new facility in Haverhill.
Oh, right, that's super. And it was room to room, I think.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people to go room to room.
Yeah. Do you, Jake Curbs is asking, do you still need twin fitted sheets?
Yes, because it's for the dog beds that Larky and Penny sleep on. We do.
Okay. He also said that he loved the picture of Noodles.
Oh, thank you.
I think he had a smile on his face.
No, he had a smirk on his face, because when I took that picture, that was when I was coming in. And, you know, he actually was awake, because when he comes in, he opens his eyes, he opens a eye to see who it is, firstly, and secondly, if they've got anything good. Obviously, it was just me. I wasn't carrying food, so he closed his eyes. So when I went to the side of my bed, and I went, Noodles, you need to move. he lay there and he was so content and so, I mean, it was like a lovely little picture of a happy little puppy, honestly. And it's like, I think like the reason he does it is he's like, I'm so comfortable here. Why would you move me? I'm like, because I'd like to lie down in bed. So I have to actually roll him. I flip him on his side and shove him back over to Nick's side.
Yeah, I brought him down here today because Judy hadn't seen him for a while, and he just loves Judy, doesn't he?
He does.
And Judy loves him, and
yeah.
It was a mutual adoration situation.
Yes.
But yeah, we need to get him to a point where he might be able to go out and visit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difficulty with Noodles is when he's excited, he barks, and it's so piercing it would make your ears bleed. It's really quite painful, and he just goes in circles and he jumps up and down, badoing, badoing, badoing like that, and then it's quite something.
So that was that. What was the goat doing yesterday? I cannot believe, Fernanda says, I could not believe what the goat was doing to you yesterday.
Oh, Mabel, that what she does is, as soon as you're there, she thinks you're there to play with her, so she goes up on her back legs, and she comes towards you, and then she headbutts you. And if you don't stop her, then what she does is she then hooks your leg with her horns, and it is agony. But the problem is, yesterday, because I was bent down trying to fix the fence, she was like, oh, this is fair game, and she was on her back legs, and she just kept coming at me. And the problem was, she hit me right in my wrist bone, and that way when it because it's like goat horn onto your bone, there's no padding in between. I was like, ah, and I thought, it was so sore. I thought, I bet you that little stinker's chipped part of this bone. So I started pushing her away, and then I had to put my foot up to keep her away. And it's what we seem to be able to do at times is stop it before it becomes like a challenge to her, and that's fine. And if you've got enough space to go away, but unfortunately I was crouched down tying knots on the pallets at the fence, so I was a sitting duck really. So she just kept coming for me. I was like, oh, I'm never going to get out of here. It was not fun, but she just takes a notion. And other times she just she wants you to scratch her ears, her neck. You can groom her, you can cuddle her. And then she goes straight into attack goat mode. I mean, show your.
Yeah. So she nibbled me today, and she wasn't biting me. She was just going up, going.
Yeah, it was basting
like that,
you,
and
silly.
then and she nibbled me as I was trying to put the hay out. So I got a boo boo.
A goat boo boo.
Goat boo boo.
And the problem is, I've never seen her nibble anyone before, so maybe this is her, that headbutting doesn't work.
I think she was confused between where the hay stopped and I began.
And
so.
The funny thing is, the three male goats, they will headbutt each other. And in fact, Henry headbutts with the white goat, and both of them are just as bad as each other. And the white goat does have stubs of horns in there. But they don't do it to people. She is the only one, Janine, who actually squares up to people. And she's actually a really nice goat. They're all really nice goats. But oh my gosh, she's an absolute stinker.
It's so funny, like when I went and did the Tanner's barn before we started here, and I had all the stalls open, and the horses were standing outside, the main door, just sort of, doing what horses do and trying to. I think they were eating the hay out of the wheelbarrow again, like they were yesterday. But the goats are just like, they're interested in everything.
Yeah, you can't move without the
so
goat
you go
audience.
into the stall to muck it out, and they want to be in there with you. They're looking around, and then they go into the next stall and they go, oh look, there's some hay left in that hay bag, so they start nibbling there, and then they realise you left the door open to the little bit at the back that we keep hot, because we keep the hay in there, and
the goat minerals and the goat food
and the tools and things like that, and then they go in there and they have a little kind of prance around there. Then they go into their own stall, and then they go, this isn't much fun, let's go somewhere else. They're just so, I don't know, curious.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually really good fun.
Yeah.
And they're nice because they're like your little goat buddies. They follow you everywhere.
Yeah, I just the bit that worries me the most is I go to the feed room in the barn to get a little bucket of seeds,
goat food,
feed for them, and then you got to make your way across the arena with the 4 goats following you, and you're trying to watch where each one of them is, and they're all zigzagging around because you're worried one of them's just going to take you out.
Yeah.
To get the
well,
grain.
I'll tell you the worst goats actually for moving with goat food is actually the white goat. Because he doesn't have horns, so he can actually get his head in the bucket, and as soon as his nose hits the rim of that bucket, you've lost the bucket, because they are so strong. They don't bend in the middle. If they don't want to go somewhere, they do not bend in the middle. And if he's got his head in the bucket, you've lost your bucket, and that's it.
So, Debbie Davis Hurst was asking, has there been any consideration for removing the horns of the goats, especially Mabel?
Yeah, well, so that has crossed my mind, but I'm not sure about that, and it's something that I was going to speak to the vet about. I think those horns have grown so thick and long. I'm not sure whether or not you can do it if the growth plates are still far down the horn. I really don't know. I know you can trim them, and I know Henry has had his trimmed, but his were trimmed at that length, whereas the rest of them are like that length and then they curl. So this is something that I'm going to have to speak with the vet when he comes out for their physical.
Yeah, and the white goats were dehorned, weren't they?
They were debudded at when they were young, so that's just naturally what, and we didn't do it. They came like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they wouldn't be the same goats if you took their horns off. Yeah. Certainly not as dangerous anyway. Fernanda said, how about spaying her when she does that? Spraying her. I thought you said spaying her. Absolutely. Surgery
You're
in
like,
the middle
that might be a touch beyond us.
Surgery in the middle of the arena.
Yes, you could try and spray her, but there's really not much actually worries that goat. And the other problem is she always gets you when you've got your hands full of something. And that's just it.
Yeah, so Jam's been out on her wanders.
Yeah.
She made it through 2 paddocks this morning.
Yes, she did. And then we put the gate up, and then we hung the pallets in the bottom of the gate. So I'd be interested to know whether or not she's made it through that. I'm certainly hoping she hasn't. And the funny thing is, yesterday when she did that, I went to, herd her back towards Elvis, and she can get out of the way of everything, because one of the horses, they start put their head down and moved into chase her, and I thought, I'm going to have to go and save her from a horse now, and she just hoppity skipped off, and then she went up to see Arthur, and he's normally pretty reliable anyway. She went down to the arena, she did a turn, and I herded her back, and she went back to Elvis, and then she stood half under the fence, so she wasn't on one paddock or the other. She was just hanging about in the middle of it.
Apparently Mabel is also headbutting the Pringle goat, and it seems to hurt him. Yeah.
That's Mabel. The Pringle goat's actually, he's normally very good at just removing himself from the situation. I think the goats, the paddock up on, and the reason we're not using the paddock up at the house is it doesn't get hit by the same amount of sunshine. So it's still thick ice at the moment. And, you're talking about, a good 3-4 inches of ice. So it's still in that really uncomfortable slipping situation, and it's going to take just a bit longer than everywhere else to to actually defrost. So they're down there. The fencing is going up, but they take on all the fencing down at Tanner's End. So we're going to have to think, and we can't put them out on Puppy Hill because Puppy Hill has had in areas the fencing removed, so it's not secure at the moment.
Yeah, I have lost questions.
How could you do that? That's the one job you had.
I know.
Have you lost them all?
Well, I've lost a bunch, yeah.
All right, I better go in here with my portable stool. Okay. Oh, dear me. Right, what was your last question? Did I answer it? Oh, you've lost quite a few. Honestly, one job, Nick.
I don't know how that happens.
It's awful. It's the most twin fitted sheets there. Yes, Heather will be fantastic with the dogs and Carleen, so that's great. And it was room to room for Judy, so that was something very different because we normally do a combination of, we do this session in like a general purpose room, and then sometimes we go to do hospice. And they don't call it hospice in a lot of these environments. They call it something totally different. I think it's transitional wards. Gwen will stay in the Hilton. So that will sit there till Carleen comes back, since there's no cake in it. No, she's not going to the Airstream. Yes, the heat has been fixed in the Airstream.
Well, we don't really know, to be honest, because we've not been using it.
No,
so,
we think it has.
I think the heating system needs a full service.
Yeah.
We probably won't do that until the spring.
Yeah. Oh, here's Fernanda saying that Nick does not need instructions. He uses his brain until it doesn't work.
I normally do follow instructions, but I don't know. I just looked at that and thought, how hard can it be? Harder than I thought. Overestimated my intelligence again. Oh my gosh.
Oh dear. Yeah, we can take these anywhere with us, and we'll not lose them because they are Goldy's yellow, which is super. Totally great stool. So thank you, Nancy. Oh, Lisa's asking where you can order them, Nancy. Maybe Nancy will answer. I think they were from Amazon.
Really?
Oh, it had an Amazon.
Oh, look at the Amazon box.
No, Amazon sometimes send through in odd boxes. Yes, it was from Amazon.
Let's see, what was it called?
Yeah, I can send a picture of that too. Yeah, I'll send a picture of this to you. Because that's it. Look, Nick, it's not working. It's not mirroring anymore. Why is it not?
You've got it upside down, that's why.
What, the phone?
No, that.
No, I haven't.
That is very strange. Why aren't we upside down?
Why would we be upside down?
Oh, you just held that upside down. Like.
I didn't. Look, see, it doesn't work.
Well, no, it is mirrored.
I'll send you a picture, Lisa.
With my brain when this happens.
Did you read the instructions for using your brain?
No.
Okay.
My brain didn't come with instructions.
No, we know that.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
It's called a telescopic stool.
It is.
Looks like that.
Yeah, no, I'll send her the...
By Fish Boy.
I'll send her the thing from Amazon. Oh, Oh, Wendy, we opened your box yesterday.
What was
Oh no, that came from Sam Keys.
Which box was
Wendy, there must be an Amazon box somewhere. Right, we shall go look for that. Sorry, Wendy.
Oh, you know something? I think there was a box in the delivery hut.
All right, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think we brought them.
So Woody is all healed from his
You want me to go
injury.
get them, or?
No, it's because you need to stay here and behave. Woody is all healed from his injury. We had him on antibiotics and we sterilised him on a daily basis, and he's as good as new. So thank you for asking. Yeah, that doggy door behind there does function, but we keep it shut purely because when Wanda's here, she stays in this side and she sleeps in this side, and the two Danes sleep over the other side, and Sizzle will sleep this side with her as well. If Wanda has access to the great outdoors, the dog paddock does not contain her because she can get underneath the fence and through any gaps. There's you put Wanda where there's a dog door, and you go back for her and she is not there because she's gone for a wander. So
and then she gets lost. Well, not lost, but she's outside. She could be outside at night and get very cold and not get back in,
and that would be problematic because she does get cold. So we don't use that door. It's shut down at the moment.
Plus, the other dogs would come back in, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. So it's shut down at the moment. Lisa, did I? Oh no, I didn't do MailChat yesterday, and maybe Janine didn't mention it. Thank you so very much, Lisa. I've already opened the horse pellets. They are in circulation at this precise moment in time, and the peas came, the split peas, the flaked peas, they came, so they're back in with their rabbits as well. So thank you so very much for that.
I think you posted a picture of the rabbit food last night. Yeah?
Yes. Oh, there's no kitchen in here. This is the HQ. So.
Although they did, I know in the kitchen today they did cut the other work surface.
Yes.
And they put that on, but it's still not finished.
No, because Carlene's not here, we've redirected them to the barn. So, because we may as well get that done. Woody,
I think what they're doing is they're spending most of their time in the barn, but each day the guy's going over and spending an hour or so there finishing the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because it'll be good to get it done while she's not in there.
Yeah. Well, they've done all the dusty stuff, so. Yeah. So that's
Carlene
good.
keeps shouting at him.
Woody is 14. His mother Gertie is 16. So that means he's probably actually 15, and she'll be 17 now, because we've had them since around about this time last year. It was me that posted noodles, not him. He was sleeping.
Yeah, but darling, you use my
But
Facebook.
I write everything on Facebook as Nick, because I don't have a Facebook
she
account.
wants to play. In the event she gets sued, it's me that are going to sue because it's got my name on it, and I'll be like, but I didn't say anything. So
Allegedly.
I think it's all a ruse to get me into big trouble.
Naturally. So anything that's on Facebook from Nick Tilston is me. He on this one here.
I'm Nicholas
He's
Tilston.
Nicholas Tilston. So there you go. And anyway, how could he post a picture when he was sleeping?
Also at real Nicholas Tilston.
At real Nicholas Tilston. Oh, good. I'm glad the
And
daily dog is going out.
I'm also Ben Hur, yeah, on the other chat.
I mean, seriously, but he is. No, I'll probably take over the daily doggy again while Carlene's away, just to keep us all going. And
See that question about the green stuff?
what green stuff?
Like,
Oh, I know what it
both
is.
covered in green stuff.
Do you know
like, Arthur's covered in it too.
Do you know what the green stuff is?
What is it?
It's that fence in the arena. They rub on the fence in the arena. The gate, that's the entrance fence, because the other one that's covered in green is also Wilbur on his butt.
And Arthur is covered in it.
Yeah.
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 I thought he'd been rolling. It's like he'd been rolling in grass or something.
No, there's no grass, darling.
I know there's no grass. I was like, where'd the grass come from?
So anything that's got green stuff has been rubbing on the gate that's in the arena, and I think what's happened is we've repurposed that gate from somewhere else on the farm, and the paint, some of it's very flaky, but the rest of it's just like it's powdery. So that's why Wilbur, when you look at Wilbur, not only is his tail hair standing up like a Mohican at the top of his tail where it joins on with his rump, but it's also green. Because I did wonder a few days ago, I thought, what on earth has he been doing? And then I realised it was the gate. Yeah, Carlene will be ready to come home now that she knows what she's coming home to. So I just heard from Mary. She sent me a text this morning, and she will be arriving back in Connecticut, I think she said mid-April. I had originally thought it was mid-March, but whatever she's doing has maybe just taken longer, so she's going to come and join us. And the lovely thing is, she said that because she's down in Connecticut, that she'll maybe be able to pop up once a month or so, so that's lovely. Her brother was going to be coming in March, but he's now busy, so they'll come at some point. So it's nice because it's like a movable feast. So I appreciate that, because it's lovely having Mary here. Oh, there you go, Lisa. Loretta has popped up the link. Thank you for that. We are very lucky and we know it. Apart from Mabel, she's a bit of a thorn in our side.
See, there's the question.
I know. So I've thought about pool noodles. You can put tennis balls on the end of their horns. You can do all sorts of things. They don't stay on because the horns are not a universal size. They're thicker at the base and then they thin to a tip. And also they would end up eating each other's pool noodles because that's what they're like. Honestly, there's just.
The first time I read that, I thought, how about duct taping noodles to his horns? I thought, that's a bit mean.
That's a bit extreme.
Poor noodles.
That would be awful. Can you imagine him? He'd be so upset. He's terrified of the goats.
Doesn't like goats, no. He's a bit wary of all the other animals, actually.
Yeah, I know. We've had discussions with Janine. She's no longer our goat handler. I'm telling you. She's been sacked. Michelle is still settling in. There's a lot to be done in the cabin, but she's very capable and she's just getting at it, which is super. Yeah, she likes Scottish food, Mabel. Oh, Angus was pestering. That sounds like if it's the one that was dressed up as the unicorn, that's actually our Miss Delightful. I can tell you, Miss Delightful can hold her own. And we actually think the reason Angus has been a bit of a stinker is because he's been hanging out with her, and he was hanging out with Flower as well. And those two ladies, between the pair of them, are spicy. And he started all his nonsense when we realised that he was spending so much time with her. And the other donkey that hangs out with the horses is Clark. And Clark's gone a bit off the boil. He's a bit pushy as well at the moment. So I'm not sure what's happening with donkeys and horses, but they're all there.
I think. Do you not think part of it's just that they can't run around the way they maybe like to because of the weather and they just got too much energy.
Well, for Angus, yes. But one of the things that I'm actually finding quite interesting is when we did a hard wean of him from his mother. That's why we took Harley over to Meredith, because he was still, he was going up nudging her and still feeding from her, and Harley doesn't need that. And I think she'd had it. And the number of times that Harley would walk over to you and say, "Is he still following me?" I'd say, "Yes, he's right on your tail." She'd be like, "Damn it." So she's over in Meredith having a rest, and he's not as nibbly. And I did wonder whether or not when he stopped suckling, whether or not he would be less mouthy, because he's not as it's not his. What he would do is he would poke at her, and as he got older, he would like nudge her, and her leg would come up in the air, and he was quite forceful with her. So I think that behaviour to get his milk was transferring on to, he always likes to frisk you to see whether or not you've got treats. So he would come up and he would nudge at you, and then he would, and if you turned to walk away, he'd bite you in the bottom. So he hasn't done that for a few days, which is quite pleasant. So maybe he will calm back down and become, an independent little donkey who,
Then again, he might not.
He might not. He might start hanging out with Mabel, and then we've got a really big problem. But
smoking cigarettes, drinking beer.
Yeah. So getting tattoos. I don't know. He's maybe just going through his naughty teenage stage. But he's actually, he's actually super. And I was worried that he would be really, really upset. And when donkeys are upset, they bray and they bray, and it's heartbreaking. And while he did go looking for her, he wasn't overly, don't you get me out of sync. He wasn't terribly distraught, which was good. What is it? What's wrong?
All the goats are out, apparently.
Oh, you mustn't have shut the door. Did you put the...
I locked the door and I put the bolt on the outside and everything. I don't understand that at all.
That's not cool. Hopefully I'm not heading this way. We'll be okay. Let's hide in here. So I think that I'm hoping that Angus's behaviour will come back to what it used to be, because... And I go up and I cuddle him, and he likes having his cheeks rubbed like that. And then you tell him he's the best, and you give him a wee kiss, and he's just quite happy. And he's far keener to come and interact like that at the moment. And I mean for the moment, because goodness knows that can change.
Mabel is going to start a gang, and Angus will be the first one to join.
We don't need that. Heaven help us. So, yeah, so please don't worry about Delight, because Delight is a right spicy little madam when she gets going, and she can more than handle Angus. Yes, so that's why. Thank you, Linda. So I think I remember something. That's why I think that the core of the horn it grows, and that's why you have to debud them while they're young. And obviously ours are not going to be budded. Oh, crikey. Oh no. See, and so this is the problem. So Mabel really can't be around when we have visitors to the farm. In fact, she's kind of like the goat protection animal, because quite frankly, she's just lethal. She's absolutely... She will have to be contained somewhere, which she will not like. But, so if you know a home for one goat that has other Nigerian goats that she can commune with, that would be great. So I called our farrier. And our farrier, I think I explained to people at the time, this is about Rocco's feet. His thigh muscle separated from his kneecap, and he is bandaged and braced. So he is not going to be moving until the middle of summer, which is horrific because he's so phenomenal with donkey feet. So it's a lot of people don't handle donkeys or trim their feet. So we were so lucky. This gentleman comes from, an hour and a half, 2 hours away. That's why he does the whole barn and then the barn on Meredith, and then he goes, because he does the mule feet, he does the horse feet, and he does the donkey feet. And any animal, and he's a natural trimmer, so he doesn't shoe, and any animal that we have with foot defects, he comes in and he treats them, and we go on to a program. The problem with this is that it's so difficult finding somebody who will do the same job and get. There's people that are, you know, up in New Hampshire. There's people that are elsewhere, but they do barefoot trimming of horses. Donkeys are tricky, and their legs don't move in the same direction as horses when you're working with their feet, and also you have to get their angles quite right. And a bad trim job it can set you back months. So I spoke to the lady who came to see one of the horses on Monday, and she said that she will ask around to see if there's somebody, because she used to have a donkey. She'll ask around to see if there's somebody who is competent with doing donkey feet. So I am still waiting and asking anybody that will stand still long enough, if they know anybody that will trim feet. It may be that what we have to do in the interim is just start away at the tips and shaving them back. It's a tricky thing, a really tricky thing. So, and then we'll get back onto our program, and yeah, not a good situation to be in. And it's one of the most difficult things, because we very often rescue draft horses and we rescue draft mules, and a lot of people, quite understandably, don't want to work with either, because draft horses, their feet are exceptionally heavy, and if you've got one that's resistant to lifting their feet, it takes so long to work with them in a patient fashion, without inflicting fear or pain onto the animal. So to find a farrier who's prepared to do that is absolutely phenomenal. And these these farriers had to be so careful about their backs and, you know, their hands and excuse me, and you know, so it's a two-way road. You know, we need to be have our animals trained as well as possible to lift feet. A lot of these animals come in, they've been feral, and you know, it's a process. So we have to try and make it as easy for farriers as possible, but I'm still coming up blank right now, but I am working on it. So if anybody knows of somebody who likes doing donkey feet, I'd very much appreciate it. No, I don't think Jeremy's been debudded. Not that I'm aware of. The goat made it through naturally. Oh. Goats, honestly. Yes, the little hump will grow at the same rate as the rest of the body. So. Oh, Heather is coming on Friday. So I think, my gosh, I shouldn't be reading these questions. I said, are you guys keeping all the different numbers on the bulldogs? And I thought, oh my God, have we got bulldogs or is it bullfrogs? No, we are not keeping all the different numbers on the buildings, because the poor delivery men are having enough trouble at the moment finding where to put deliveries. And when it's supposed to come to 37, it doesn't end up in 37. And then I think, you know, it's chaotic. It really does not add to the frisson of excitement coming down our driveway in the ice at the moment. So no, we're taking all the signs down. Enough problems. Oh, who might get eaten by some creature? Oh, yes. Sorry, Lisa. I did get that box, the one that we discussed, and because it had that certain motif on the mug, that was another one of the boxes that I was keeping to the side until Carleen comes home. So yes, thank you. I thought I mentioned this because it was on the table. Oh. Thank you for putting all these links up to the stools. I could post my other dogs.
Like, I don't know, like, you need an awfully big box, though.
Good choosing to seize that opportunity.
Just send through your address details, Fernanda. I'll be sure to package them up good and tight, with plenty of room for breathing. Just let me know how many of them you would like.
Has the smell dissipated from the HQ? Sort of. Yeah, we're going to have to paint the walls, actually. So Brittany has been working at getting all the mastic off, so we can get them washed down, and then we're going to put a coat of paint on them.
The mail house is still there. The problem is
They don't stop.
The only delivery service that's really good at like always putting it in the right place is UPS. Yeah, like the UPS guy always puts it in the delivery hut.
Yeah.
All the other services, well, the USPS also always put their stuff in the mailbox. Yeah. At the front of the drive. The problems we have is more with Amazon and with
FedEx.
With FedEx, who knows where they'll put it? Yeah.
And it's most bizarre. I mean, I give up. It's like a magical mystery tour every day. Carlene's in hospital at the moment. She has a pretty heavy duty UTI and is on a IV drip. And then once she, it's caused a lot of confusion and dizziness and vomiting. And then once the IV antibiotics have taken effect, she'll go and rehab in Hawthorne Hill again, and she'll be there for a week to 2 weeks. Hopefully no longer than that. Mabel is in the donkey barn. Oh, heaven help us. Mike's doing fine. He works extremely hard. He leaves very early in the morning and he comes back late at night. So we normally see him on weekends. Well, I see him going down the driveway in the morning. Yeah, but you see, our goats would eat pool noodles with relish. Flower is on Meredith at the moment. All 4 goats are in the barn. Fantastic. Ah. Well, so this is a peculiar thing. When Harley and Angus are reunited.
Reunited.
Oh, you can sing now.
Yeah, I just felt that song.
You just sit in your stool. Behave. So when they're reunited, we have had, do you remember Harley and, what was it, Harley's other foal called? Ugh, I can't remember. Flossie. So we brought Flossie over to meet, to be reunited with Harley, and they didn't like each other.
Is Flossie a girl?
Yes. So they weren't interested in each other at all. I suppose it's just how things in the wild work, you know. The mother has to let the foal move on at some point and, you know, stop being a burden on her body, and there you go.
Probably looking at it as like, you know, the milk service is no longer available.
Milk bar is closed. Yeah, so it really depends on it. I presume it's probably just, you know, it's like Angus is very friendly with the Naughty Boy squad. So, you know, he's got lots of buddies out there. He's well established in the herd, shall we say. And so we just need to wait and see when she comes back.
It would also depend how long she's away for, I guess. Yeah.
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 They're going through the gate, Janine added to the fence. Well, that's about right. I love these goats.
Telling you, like, if there was a service you could rent them out for where they would be like the
attack goats,
like the test of new fortifications and fencing for containing animals. You could put those goats in to test them out,
yeah,
like, to make sure they really had put them in securely.
Yeah, because they can get out of anything. Those 4 goats, they're terrible. Which one's the flat field? No, the problem we have with the flat field, and as long as we're talking about the flat field, that's the one that's outside the arena, where the dogs used to go. They took the fencing down, so there's no fencing left. If that's the one with the chair on it. So no, they can't go out there. There's no fencing to contain them. They go there by themselves. Murphy is doing just fine. He's having a lovely time on Meredith. Silly big banana that he is.
Does he get on well with Clancy? Not Clancy.
Chester.
Chester.
Yeah, they were fine in the barn. They're both that silly gelding way, because Chester's just daft. No, they're both really nice horses. He's actually in the paddock with Ted and Enzo, and Ted we kind of use as our steadying influence, because he's just steady Eddie is our Ted. Steady Eddie Teddy.
Steady Teddy.
Steady Teddy. He's very calm, and he's just a sensible boy. So we kind of like use him as the calming influence. So he's in that paddock, and Enzo is just Enzo. So he's quite happy in there. Tenny was trying to instigate fights with him over the paddock lines, but Murphy's not silly. He doesn't engage in any of that nonsense. He just turns round and turns his back. Yeah. So he's fine. You can see all the horses. I think eventually, once we open up the very back field, because it's a field at the front that's divided in two, a secondary paddock which is also divided in two, and then there's an enormous far back, and in the far back, or the way back, it's they all mingle back there, but there's so much space they don't cause each other any concern. So they'll go back there once all the ice is gone, and so that will work out, and that will be really nice for him. So by that time he'll be used to the other horses, and they'll settle down quite nicely. But it's a really nice herd, and it's very calm and just gets on, does what it should do. So that's fine. Penny's far too far away. She won't know anybody up here, unfortunately. Mike, I think, is doing really well. I think he's just really busy. He has about 3 jobs. He just keeps going. The mail house is halfway up the driveway, and we have it halfway up the driveway because that is the most sensible place to have it, allegedly. Oh, you'll see Heather, I'm pretty sure. Deliveries. Flossie, I think, is in Ipswich area. So yeah, she's somewhere around about. And oh my goodness, I've been keeping in touch with Lucy and Luigi's progress, and they're doing fantastically. So that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check. Oh, hello, Trouble. The door at the back of the arena is standing open. That's probably the goats opened it. Hello, precious. Well, I'm hoping Bella will come back and train Penny. Thanks very much. Yeah, we just need to get. I don't know. Carleen wants to train her. I think it's very difficult because she's missed great big chunks, and she's very spirited. She's very. She's a lovely dog. Where are you, Pen? Come on, sweetie. She's a really lovely dog. But honest to goodness. Thanks, darling. Honest to goodness, she's in everything. You just can't keep her out. You a lovely girl? Yes, you are, darling. Oh, look, I'm having problems with this now. Carleen knows about Megan being on Explore, which is super. Oh, yeah. The night we were going to put the chicken toys in, that was the night Carleen unfortunately took ill and had to go to hospital. But I will tell you, Janine came out earlier in the day. She came out, it must have been after MailChat, and she came into, I was talking to Carleen in the White House, and she said to me, "We need to come into the barn. There's a really funny noise, and I don't know what it is." She says, "But it sounds like an animal." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she went, "Yeah, I just don't understand what it is. It's like growly." And we met Nick coming out of the barn aisle, and I said, "There's something funny in the barn, Nick." I said, "Do you want to come in?" I said, "It's making a growly noise." And he went, "What kind of growly noise?" I went, "A really odd growly noise," says Janine. And then "Oh, no. And then it turned out he'd been squeaking those chickens that make a very deep growly noise, and that's what Janine had heard. Oh, chaos. Right, I'll have to go and check these goats out. Yeah, so I think Heather's going to, she'll work in the White House, and then I think she'll come and help me too. So that's going to be super fun. Yes, that would be good if Bella had time, because I know Bella's already training other dogs. And Dana takes Penny for overnights every now and again as well. So I better go, because we're going to go and feed the animals in the barn, and then we'll be back again tomorrow. And I hope you all have a nice night, and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.